Welcome back. We are here again for another episode of Sit Crooked, Talk Straight. I am Katie Myers.
And I am Leanne Jameson.
And we have a fun episode planned for you today as we are reminiscing about our careers and just kind of different stories. Leanne and I are both licensed professional mental health helpers. Leanne's an LPC, I'm an LCSW. Those letters don't mean a whole lot. We help people.
We're helpers.
We're helpers. But we have had like some fun parts of our story, and we have a ton of fun shit in our stories.
Yeah.
But we're going to share a little bit about them today because we've also come a long way, baby.
Yes.
So yeah, this one will hopefully be a fun episode reminiscing about some old times.
Yeah, and hopefully also to just give you a bit of courage and inspiration that we have started somewhere, just like everybody else. We all have to start somewhere. Oh my gosh, speaking of, I was watching one of Rachel Hollis, always a girl crush, always will love her. She's so authentic, so genuine. She truly is.
Yeah.
People can argue with me about that because she hit about like her, divorce and all that shit, but whatever. I think it's whatever. Everybody's entitled to their own experiences. Anyways, I digress. So I love her. And I saw her, one of her Instagram posts, and she was talking about the new people in the gym. And most people get pissed off because all the people have New Year's resolutions to lose weight, blah, 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 and then the gym's crowded and blah, 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 blah. And she took it to a different level, like she usually does. And she was inspirational, right? So that's what I hope for this. She said, we all started there. We all know how you feel being the one there, that maybe you're insecure. Maybe you're thinking, I don't know how to do this. Can I really do this? Oh my gosh, is this just going to be another time that I fail again? Is this, all of the things that come up? And she was like, we've all been there. Right. And then she showed pictures of herself, on her journey and stuff. And I just thought it was so beautiful and so pertinent to what we're talking about today, because we all start somewhere. When we think, well, that could never be, that could never do, like, I could never do this, I could never do that. And we have thought the same things. I actually took a snapshot of one of the times, that time that we recorded 553 times. And
It was 2017.
2017.
The place was Katie's dining room table. And the context or details around that were we recorded our very first recording of the two of us. Kind of like, promoting what we were doing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and it was hysterical.
It was so much fun. We'll have to post, I'll have to remember to post the picture of us. Yeah, definitely. Actually, for the Patreon viewers, actually, no, I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't think you can actually show screenshots, but I will try.
We'll figure out how to get this content to those of you.
Oh, look it. I can't. Look at that. Look at kids.
We were
Take 5,878 of trying to create a video for Journey to Rejuvenation. Our cheeks hurt so much from laughing, or cheeks hurt from laughing so much. Love this lady like it's my job. So, right, babies. So how we got on this topic is actually, I ended up getting this really cool when I was in Madison for one of my retreats that I actually went to instead of holding. I ended up finding this. I have this favorite little store there that I like to go to because it was my second time being in Madison. And it's called The Moth Presents a Game of Storytelling. And what I didn't realize when I picked it up is that this was a podcast. This has been a podcast since 1997, where they focus on storytelling. And so I ended up grabbing it and pulled the first card where it talks about a time. It's like, tell us about a time that you are out of your comfort zone. And we have so many of those, but there were two that actually came up, well, one for me and one for Katie, that came up pretty prominently about our professional, stepping outside our comfort zone as far as our professional growth. Do you want to start?
Yeah, so mine was public
The year was Tell it as a
I'm,
story.
I'm thinking it's 2012, right? So I'm thinking 2012. I don't know exactly, but I was a family therapist at Talbot Recovery Campus. Um, I had an incredible supervisor. Beverly Baskerville was the head of the family department. And we signed up for, and mind you, Beverly's not a big public speaker either. Um, and I think that's how she roped me into it, actually. She was like, hey, do you want to do this together? And there was kind of like, oh, well, if we do it together, it won't be as scary.
Yeah.
Well, we signed up. And so, because we were in the family department, the topic was couples in recovery, which is actually really funny. Things are coming very full circle when it comes to the work that I do with couples in therapy and coaching. But yeah, it was a CEU event, which means that people paid to show up to this thing. And I remember a fellow coworker, mind you, we work in the field of addiction and substance use disorder. And I was like, I'm so nervous. And like, I would get the kind of nervous that like my knees would shake and my voice would quiver. Like it was like
Mhm.
visible that Katie is fucking uncomfortable. She's nervous. She is not in her element doing this thing called public speaking. And um, yeah, so anyway, a coworker of mine was like, I just take a Xanax. And I'm like, yeah, like, no, I'm not doing one, no, I'm not doing that. And but like that's the framework, right? It was like I was so bad that someone was like, just take a Xanax. And I got up in front of, and I'm gonna guess maybe 40 people were in this conference space. And Beverly and I do our presentation. I don't remember a fucking thing that I said for the whole presentation. But what, so completely out of my comfort zone, 2012, it is now the year 2024. And yeah, some time has passed because guess what? Shit takes time. Like from
Mhm.
that point to where I am and we are today is not something that is an overnight, quick fix, instant gratification type of thing.
Well, I think that it's also about stepping outside your comfort zone over and over and over and over. But that was like one of the pinnacle, like one of those moments that
This is one that
that you
stands
remember,
out.
right?
It
Yeah.
stands out.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I was nervous professionally. I was nervous personally. I was like imposter syndrome, and I'm not qualified to do this, like all of that shit.
Mhm.
And now, I mean, we could go on any one of our social media platforms and look at how many people have viewed our TikToks or Instagrams um, and your community, right? Like the online community you have in Facebook where
Mhm.
you do these live trainings and like we have come so far, babe. Look at us now. And like the joy today of what we didn't know then. Had I
Yes.
known then what I know now, who knows? Irrelevant. I'm glad that I took the leap into the unknown and kept leaping to get to
Yes.
where I am today. And
Yeah.
it really makes me fucking excited about like what's going to happen within like the next decade, right? Like, cause I'm 41, I'm right. Like my
Yeah.
40s feel like the ultimate, like better than my 30s, better than what hell, yeah, better than my 20s. It just keeps getting better and better and better. So like this joy of the unknown and stepping into this discomfort is like fucking do it.
What made you do it in the first place? What made you like, right? Because you're like, well, it's a little bit
Mhm.
safer. It was this, it was that. It's like, at what point do we choose? And this just came up as far as like, for
Yeah.
me questioning myself too. It's like, at what point did I said, fuck yes, I'm doing this. Like, we're gonna move forward.
Mine might be a little bit less inspirational and more I what my boss asked me and that was part of my people pleasing where I was like, okay,
Ah,
I'm going to do this thing because it's expected of me and so I'm just going to do the next thing. And I don't want to let my boss down. And so there was a people pleasing element. So there's that which again can turn into what our survival skills can turn into superpowers.
right.
um, but I can say more definitively along the way, I think when we were launching Journey to Rejuvenation, and even in the last 2 years with my private practice and trying to just like branch out and do more coaching, there were absolutely moments where I would do like a stupid TikTok video of me like lip syncing to some rap song from like the late 70s, which I wasn't even born, and like right like and there was it was kind of like fuck it, like go big or go home. Like like
Yes.
you've got this one life. Like what are we doing? Are we gonna just stand in the shadows for fucking ever? Are we gonna be silly? Are people gonna get it? I don't know. The people who get it are my people. The people who don't get
Right.
it ain't people. And I do not have to be everybody's people. So yeah, there were
Yes.
definitely like bucket moments where it's like doing it. Put
Like
me in,
just
coach.
do it.
Do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it makes me think too of just like the people that saw something on us that we weren't able to see at that moment, right? Where it's just like, you're capable of doing this. Like,
I
let's
was
go ahead
so
and do
Beverly.
this.
I was so Beverly. I mean, yes, she roped me into it because she also was nervous, but she, over my 5 years in the family department, she consistently affirmed me and built me up and poured into me by saying like you can work with this really tough case, you can
Hmm.
handle this really tough couple, you can do this really tough presentation, you can do right, like
Yes.
you can do it. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Beverly, man, she would not be happy with how much I'm using the F word today, but shout out to Beverly Baskerville.
And that's, yeah, that's what, when I look back, I love the everybody that was put into our life, right? And good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Because I think about, the supervisors that I had, or the bosses that I had, and the last one that I had, he was the one that like helped me to realize like I need to fucking move on. And he was the one that held boundaries for me, and he was the one that pushed me as well when I needed to be pushed. So super grateful for that, because I remember, I want to say it was probably around 2012, 2013, where I presented. It had to have been earlier, actually, because I was like, I did not have my boys, I don't think.
Yeah,
I was not presenting when I was pregnant with the twins. So it had to be earlier. That's wild. Anyway,
time flies,
so
babe, time
oh
flies.
my gosh, I know. I don't think anything on my resume is accurate as far as time. Um, that's how I looked. I'm like,
Good thing
when
it's
did I do
irrelevant
this?
now.
I
Good
know
thing it's irrelevant.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, but I was telling Katie, so my huge step into public speaking, and it was so outside my comfort zone. And it's so funny when you think about it, because we would lead groups all the time,
Yeah.
like, whatever. But standing in front of professionals, right? Other people that were in the profession that we were in,
Scared.
it scared the shit out of me, right? It is the imposter syndrome. So I was approached about doing mindfulness and recovery. And that is one that I actually still get contacted about, of just like, hey, will you present this? Because I heard you, or I heard that,
Oh,
whatever.
I love that.
Yes. So, so I remember being, them approaching me, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I could do this on my own. I don't think so. They paired me up with Sandy Taylor, and she is just a delight. And she really, like, she was such a beautiful mentor, and she's funny as hell. And
Spitfire. Sandy, if you're listening to this, you're a
Spitfire.
Spitfire, and I hope you never change. And Sandy Taylor, I love you. Your accent just makes me so happy, and I love to imitate you because that's my Sandy. Sandy,
She
Sandy,
is
Sandy.
Sandy is who I was able to learn from and stand in front of a room of 100, at least a
Mm.
100 professionals at a national conference, to teach them mindfulness and recovery. And I remember going through it with her. She's like, "You're gonna do fine. We're gonna do great. We're just gonna get up there, right? We're gonna do our thing. We know this, Leanne." I'm like, "You might know it, but I don't know. I've only been teaching it for a couple years, you know."
Right.
So we did, and I mean, like, we had this outline, we had everything prepared. Thank goodness for her. Like, thank God for her, because she really helped me to prepare it in such a way that everything flowed, and how everything went into just like how everything connected. And I was so scared. I was like, people are going to know that I'm a fucking phony. I'm a fraud. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's all these professionals that know better than I do. They've been in the field for longer than I've been in, right? All the stuff that we tell ourselves. And I remember Sandy started and then she handed it over. And I remember holding onto the paper and shaking, and my voice was shaking. And that happened for a little while. I don't even know how long. It felt like forever until I started just getting into the flow, right? And I'm like, I know this. Like, I got so excited. I was so excited that I was able to teach this. And I actually, for those of you who have been with me in different events or retreats or in my program, you know that I love the interaction. Like, that is so key. Even if I'm just presenting on a live where I can't even see faces, I'm always trying to pull people in and interact. Because the connection is key. So anyways, I remember this one exercise that I had, and I had people up and out of their seats and doing this exercise, and they were following each other and just like watching them participate. Now, of course, you had a couple like eye rolls, like, I don't want to fucking do that, right? And that's not about me. It's about them, their discomfort. So, yeah, having that and seeing that and everybody laughing afterwards because I made the point and they got it. Just like sparked another thing into me. I was like, I'm really good at this. Like, I love this. And after that, so we finished. She said, you did such a great job, Leanne. I knew it. Anyway, it's like, just like all the affirmations. She was so great. And from then on, it was by myself. They were like, okay, and now you got this. So I went on to present more. The highest number of attendees I have had at that specific speaking engagement conference is 500. So
that's a fuck ton of people, right? Like, that's insane.
It's so cool. It was for the I think it was for the either NADAC or no, it was NBC, the National Board of Certified Counselors, NBCC. Yep. So yeah, and I remember that it was so fucking hilarious. So again, shout out to Sandy and Woody. So thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. And showing me the way. And I want to thank you, Katie, for also challenging me, because in 2017, when we went on to Journey to Rejuvenation, now ladies, a whole nother realm opens up. First of all, when you're going on your personal shit and you are saying, this is what I'm doing. And when you're starting your own business, it's a whole nother level of like vulnerability and visibility and all of that.
Fear of failure. Oh my God.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff comes up. And I remember you encouraging me and being like, what are you like? This is what we have to do. This is what we're doing. And those 5,000 takes, I remember you were the one that like, we're going to do this. And then you challenged me to go on like online and do a video. You're just like, it doesn't matter what it is, just do it. And I remember going on, it was YouTube. And it was, me showing up saying, so my friend Katie challenged me to get on and do my first live. And here I am. So hello, everyone. Thank you. And I shut it off.
That's fucking hysterical. And I love it. It brings it back to the story you were telling before we hit record of like the New Year's Day, the gyms are packed and Rachel, or no, you shared it online.
Yeah, online, Rachel Hollis. Yeah.
Rachel Hollis story. But like everyone has their first thing. Like everyone
has to start somewhere, has their first like launch, has their first catapult into. And think about all the people that are cheering you on, right? That are, maybe you don't see it because I was just like, oh, this is just another thing that I have to do and stuff. Right. Because I was like scared. So I was masking it as anger of just like, I gotta fucking do this and blah, 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 blah.
And self was right with us.
Exactly. My younger self was like, fuck you. And thank God for the people that are put in our life that are there to push us and see what we can't see. I've had so many of them in my life. So Rachel Hollis, like seeing everybody. I know the picture that I took with Rachel Hollis when we met her at the Live to Lead. Like, I remember looking at, I actually have it over here because I want to write a blog about it. But I remember going up to her and being like, and she was like, right. So we're both like pointing at each other because she's just like, we see each other. We're there. Like, you
So
got this.
you didn't get the privilege of seeing it from where I was standing because you were obviously there doing it anyway. I got
Yeah.
to see it. There was this energy that you guys synced up in that moment when you were, it was pure authenticity when
Mm.
you face lit up, hand came up, pointed to her with a like the like, oh my God, this is happening. And she didn't miss a beat. You guys were like in sync. And it was
Oh,
so fucking cool to watch.
oh,
I wish I had had some way of capturing that. But anyway,
I
yeah,
adore
I don't think
her.
I've ever told you that. Yeah, like
No, you didn't. I'm
able to
like tearing up.
be able to see that and like and so that's another one of those like when you let your light shine you give other people permission to
Mm,
do the same when you show
mm-hmm.
up as your most authentic self when you step outside of your comfort zone when you show up and challenge yourself you give other people permission to then do the same and it starts this domino effect and this ripple effect of people being their most authentic selves and not giving a shit about what people think because there might have been somebody who like saw you do that and rolled their eyes and like
Right.
that's about them. That has nothing to do with you. So why would you let
Yes.
that control the
Dim
way
your
that
light.
you, right? Like you do not let that dim your light. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, just beautiful.
Oh,
What
so
a great time.
good. Yes. What a beautiful time. I remember that was the time that I also told you talking about courageous actions, right? I was reminiscing because again, this is airing in March, but we're in the beginning of January here in 2024. And I was reminiscing about that. And I remember we were sitting outside, we were eating our lunch that we had there. And I said, Katie, I'm gonna fucking do it. I am starting a business. Like I'm starting my business. And you were like, fuck yeah, go. And I'm trying to remember. I got to look up when that was because I know that there was some lag time again because conditioned self comes in, fear comes in, all that shit comes in. And yeah, that was just like one of those moments where again, when you think about those significant moments that just hit you and stay with you and the catapult into my business was the passing of my dad, but like that was a part of it. There's so many different parts, right? So as you were saying, it takes time, right? It's not just one moment, right? It's so many different moments strung together, so many courageous actions strung together, people that are there exactly when you need them. Be open to that, be on the lookout for them, offer gratitude for that and continue like remember we would love to hear your stories. We would love to hear your stories of that time where you stepped outside your comfort zone. You're looking back and you're like, fuck yeah, look what I did, look how courageous I was, and look where it has led me. And if it's something that you let go of, like like that moment of inspiration when I told Katie I'm going to start my business, and then it might have been like a year and a half later where I did, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was longer actually. um that's okay. There's always now to go back to that and to re-engage with it and reignite that fire and know that that was a moment that was telling you this is the direction that you're meant to go in.
Never
So
too
we would
late.
love to. Yeah, it's
Never too
never,
late.
never too late. So we would love to hear your stories of courage and adventure. And again, like I was saying, it's the moth, the game of storytelling, that this is the card that we pulled. And it's a fun game. There's some deep shit in there too. So if you get it, just know.
Be
Um,
prepared.
be prepared. And yeah, send us over your stories. We would love to share them. And maybe we can actually have you on to tell them and you can inspire other people. So
Ooh.
maybe that'll
And
be another stepping outside your comfort zone.
if that scares you, then you should do it.
Exactly. If it scares you and excites you, you're in the right space. So we just want to thank you once again for sharing time with us, for sharing space with us. We're so honored to be on this journey with you. And please remember to, right, stay compassionate, stay curious, and let your legacy shine bright, bright, bright. We love you. Mwah.
Mwah.